I remember many years ago when I was searching for a spiritual path. At that time, I was just coming out of my teenage years. I was living like a wandering hermit in India. I had just come down from the Himalayas onto the plains. I was living on the bank of the Ganges River with a very holy man. And one of his students, who was about 85 years old, his name was Narayan Prasad. Each day, we would have very illuminating spiritual discussions. At about 11 o'clock in the morning, he would take me to his best friend's house. Actually, it was his office. I remember the name, the Magadha X-ray Clinic. And the proprietor's name was Muhammad, who followed the Islamic faith. Each day, 7 days a week, for about 1 hour, Narayan Prasad, who was a Hindu, devotee of Ram, Muhammad, who was a Muslim, and myself, I didn't really know what I was at the time, we would discuss our traditions. Muhammad would speak from the Quran, and Narayan would speak from the Bhagavad Gita, the Ramayana, Hindu scriptures, and I would speak whatever I learned through my travels. The interesting thing is if it was with such affection, respect, and it was really illuminating. The purpose of the dialogue was to enrich each other, not to prove anything to each other. One day, I was sitting with Narayan Prasad on the banks of the river. I asked him a question that was on my mind. How is it in a country where there's so much communal hatred and violence between Muslims and Hindus that you're best friends? You're a Hindu and he's a Muslim. I'll never forget his answer. May I share it with you? He said that a dog will recognize his master in whatever way the master dresses. The master may be in a tuxedo. The master may be in a t-shirt and blue jeans. The master may be in his underwear. Or the master may be naked without any clothes at all. But the dog will recognize and love the master. If we cannot recognize, he said, our master or God, when the Lord comes in different dresses, in different times, to different people, in different places, then we are lower than the dog. And we have so much to learn from the dog. This struck me. There's a beautiful verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Savai pungshang paro dharmo yato bhaktiradhokshaje. Ahoitaki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. This is Sanskrit. It means the supreme dharma or religion is to love God. That love must be, to the degree it is unmotivated by any selfish egoism, and uninterrupted by any circumstances they may come upon us, it actually satisfies the heart. In my travels of studying different faiths and so many other things, I found that in every spiritual tradition, there are those who strongly believe and profess that my way is the only way. And anything that's possibly outside of my interpretation of scripture and tradition is dangerous to the world and must be, as far as possible, eliminated. I found Christians who believe that, Muslims who believe that, Buddhists who believe that, Hindus who believe that, Jains and Parsis who believe that, Sikhs who believe that. I found Jews who believed they were the chosen people. If you're not chosen, that's your problem. It's not mine. Each one thinking that they have the monopoly. And they have, in each one, from each of these traditions, has incredible volumes of scripture and tradition and logic and philosophy and science to prove their point. And I remember, after hearing it, thinking, if this person happened to just be born in a different place, he would hate who he is now. It's a type of indoctrination. What really is the essence? I also found universal people who were really seeking the essence, who, if you see the essence in your own tradition, you see that same essence in other spiritual paths. If you don't see it in others, what that really means is you probably don't see it in your own.